afternoon and welcome to your mediation. I'm Ms. Chan and I will be your mediator today. You may call me by my first name. So how would you like me to address you?
Just John is fine.
Hello, John.
Billy.
Hello, Billy. So I appreciate you two being here and that you are willing to come and talk about the matter you have and see what we can work out. Before we start with our mediation, please let me know if any one of you need to leave early, for example, to attend extracurricular activities or any responsibilities that you may have. Can both of you recommit that you can have this mediation for 2 hours as we decided on before?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so let's continue then. I remember, Billy, you approached me first and you wanted to address the disagreement you had with John in the making of the school yearbook project through mediation. We talked for some time and I did the same thing with John. And that is the only time I've had been in contact with you two individually about this matter. Am I right?
Yes.
First, let me tell you a little bit about mediation. First off, you came in voluntarily, and the entire mediation process remains voluntary. You may stop the process at any time. I encourage you to make good use of these 2 hours to share as much information as you can, so as to facilitate the clarification and hopefully come to a resolution of the matter. Mediation also gives both parties the chance to peacefully and cooperatively come up with solutions that will be at best interest of everyone involved. However, I will only facilitate the process and I will leave the freedom for you to make the decisions. So as a mediator, I am neutral and impartial, and it is up to you if you want to discuss and come to a decision today. The matter is in your hands and can decide how you would like to settle the matter. So I will only assist you in that process and help you work through this mediation. If you feel that I am being impartial towards you throughout the mediation process, please let me know. Throughout the session, I will keep everything you shared confidential and will not share anything sent to anyone, and will also not be disclosed to the court and remain privileged. I also request you to keep every matter discussed as confidential. However, confidentiality will not be maintained and will be revealed due to some exceptions. For example, if one party proposes any threat of violence, harm to anyone, or a hint at any kind of abuse done in the past or will be done in the future. Concerns of each party will be listened after sufficient sharing. You will be encouraged to discuss possible solutions helpful to solve the problems. If both of you agree to certain options, then agreement will finally be met. So how will the mediation process go? We will first be together in a joint session, which will be confidential throughout, and none of it will be shared. You two will later have a chance to present your own opening statements in the joint session in turn. We will start discussing the matters, and I shall then write on the whiteboard so that we can use it as an agenda for the entire session. After every matter is discussed, we shall then move on to the separate session. You will separately meet with me and you will speak to me in that session. You may share how the mediation is going for each of you and provide any information that you were hesitant to share or was left out in the joint session, and discuss possible solutions to deal with the matters, while it will give time to the other party to have a break and think about possible settlement issues. There may be a slight difference in the time spent with one party as opposed to the other. However, it does not mean that I am forming any bias and favor to one party over another. Since this is a flexible process and any of you can ask for suspension at any moment, also confidentiality will also apply to the separate sessions. After having the separate session with both of you, we will gather again for a second joint session. Anything shared or solutions discussed by each party will be kept confidential and not shared in the sessions. So it is up to you to decide to talk about the solutions that you both came up with during the separate sessions, and finally assist you to discuss the practicality and feasibility of the solutions that may be helpful to both of you. Hopefully, we will come to an agreement to settle some or all the matters, and you may leave this session with helpful solutions. If we do not come to any sort of agreement, we might suggest another session as a means to continue to reach to solutions. Up to this stage, is everything clear to you, or do you have any questions?
Well, for me.
Okay, before we begin, let me introduce some ground rules that we will have to follow in order to maintain a smooth mediation process. First, punctuality is highly stressed, so please be on time to attend both the joint and separate sessions. Second, it is important that we respect each other. Therefore, I would like for us to speak in turns. While one of us is talking, the others should listen carefully without any interruption. when it is your turn, it is highly appreciated if you could share your opinions, your concerns and interests, and avoid putting the blame onto the other party. Do you agree to follow these rules?
Yes.
I understand that this problem has lasted for a long time. I will listen to what you have said and try to facilitate the discussion. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, since Billy, you approached me first for this mediation, would it be fine with you, John, if we let Billy start first?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, the biggest problem in making this yearbook is that John and I can't agree on anything. Because of this, we struggle to get the work done and meet the deadlines. As of now, I can't imagine that the book will be ready in time. The yearbook is really a big deal to everyone, and I don't want to disappoint my fellow students. The pressure and inability to finish our work is really stressful to me. And what makes it more stressful is the fact that I'm left with most of the work. The reason we have 2 editors is that we can share the work. But in reality, I feel like I'm pulling most of the weight. John also has a habit of cancelling out scheduled meetings last minute, which makes him really hard to work with. He always texts me some poor excuses last minute. And once again, I'm left with most of the work. And even though I do most of my work, he has the nerve to tell me he doesn't like my ideas. That makes me feel really unappreciated and disappointed at him. Besides, he always comes up with some unhelpful alternative ideas. It seems like sometimes he disagrees with me just to disagree. For example, a very important issue is the format of the yearbook, and I think we should use it in a digital way. I suggested we would make a digital yearbook, but John just has to disagree with this. And it is 2018, and no one uses paper anymore. Everyone knows how pressing the environmental issues are. So it is really irresponsible to print the book on paper. Besides, it would be so much cheaper to make a digital version.
I hear that there is a pressing need to finish the work. You feel like you're pressured to do all the work and that you do not feel good having your hard work going into waste when John disagrees with your ideas. But you are still trying your best to overcome your stress and fulfill your duties, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Billy. Shall we invite John to tell his thoughts?
Sure.
Okay. The thing is, I do a lot more work than you really give the credits to me. I think it's very unfair that you assign me some extra work to do. I'm supposed to be your co-editor, your partner, but not your subordinate really. I'm so disappointed. I also work a lot in my own time, and that is what you cannot see. I sacrifice a lot. You know that I'm the hockey team leader, but in this month, my members attend more training meetings than me. I'm the leader because I spent a lot of time on the yearbook, on the editing, on all the things we need to do for the yearbook. He doesn't understand how important the hockey team and the members to me. And also regarding some disagreements on the yearbook, we have some very bold ideas that I don't think is very clever to think about it. For example, it's quite thoughtful for Billy to consider the environment. He wants to make the yearbook digital instead of making the traditional paper version. But I know that everyone at our school wants to have a traditional paper version on their hands. I'm sure they want it. The students will protest and they will really be disappointed if they do not get the traditional one. I'm very sure about it. The yearbook is a very important memory for all the students, teachers, and the very honorable classmates of us. I think even they would keep the yearbook on the shelves to show that to the parents, to their family, to their friends. They do not want to keep the digital version because the digital version cannot do it in the same way. And they also have always avoided a paper version in the previous years, do you know? I don't think this sudden change could really be very clever to do that. I also disagree on some of the ideas that they are quite far off that considered by you. I mean, the superhero thing. I think that's not cool, the superhero thing, not that cool. We are not the primary school students anymore. Yes, we should do the emoji theme instead. Because the emoji theme is more innovative, every one of us are using WhatsApp, SNS, we are using emojis every day, so that the readers can relate to the theme very well.
Thank you for sharing, John. You feel that you have also dedicated a lot of time into preparing yearbook, while juggling with your responsibility as being a hockey team leader. I hear that both of you are concerned about the yearbook and have good plans for it. I appreciate the fact that you two have contributed a lot to the work. It doesn't sound like an easy job. It seems that both of you think that a good theme is very important for the yearbook and that the format of it has a meaning behind.
Of course.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We will mainly discuss the format, the theme of the yearbook, and the cooperation between you two. Do you have any more issues to add?
No.
Because I'm here just for these issues, okay?
Okay, first we can discuss the order in which we will discuss the issues. We are just setting a temporary agenda now. We can change the order anytime soon if we find that the order needs more attention. So can you let me know about your preferences on which issues you would like to talk about first?
Definitely the theme. That's the most important thing to discuss.
But we should at least deal with the format first.
And the second matter?
Maybe our cooperation.
And you, John?
The format.
It seems that you have different choices on which matter to be discussed first, since both of you mentioned format as either your first or second focal points for the discussion. Why don't we begin with format first, followed by the theme, and finally the mode of cooperation?
I'm fine with it.
Okay, I don't mind the order.
So here will be the three issues that we will discuss about. And I'm glad that you have reached some common grounds on these issues. Shall we continue talking about the format? Philip mentioned that he prefers issuing the yearbook in the digital format because of the preference of the readers, the environmental reasons, and the cost. Am I correct?
Yes.
And John prefers the yearbook to be printed out in paper format because it carries the traditional meaning. And he believes that the cost of printing out is not a problem, as it's been done for a long time now. Am I right?
Of course.
Billy, would you like to give your thoughts about these points of views first?
Of course. I treasure the traditional meaning of the yearbook as well. It was the style of paper version that made me become passionate in making this yearbook. But we all know the trend is changing, and we can't just follow the old practice blindly. As the co-auditor of the yearbook, I just want to try my best to keep it as one of the symbols of our university. Do you understand?
Okay, I know what you're going to say.
It seems that both of you sense the responsibility to protect the yearbook, whether it's because of the virtual meaning it carries or its actual existence. It seems that you two have differences in the direction of thinking for coming up with a format.
But I still think we need a digital version.
I understand your need. You said you prefer a digital version because of its popularity over printed version. Can you tell us a bit more about why you would like to have a digital version over the paper format?
Sure. You know, students nowadays use their smartphone all the time. They can hardly move their eyes away from the phone screen. How can they even notice that there is a yearbook next to them for them to check it out?
It seems to me that you think it is important to attract the readers and that a digital format is more attractive to the readers. Could you share your thoughts on this, John?
I admit that students might prefer the digital version over the printed one, some of them. And we can attract more readers if we publish it in digital format, I admit that. It's also less environmentally friendly to use the printed version. Some students may even refuse to take the yearbook as a means to discourage printed yearbooks. I know, but I really don't want them to forget the traditional form of our yearbook. In my opinion, the printed version must survive, I insist. This is what I really want to do, to insist as a co-editor.
From what I've heard, John, you recognize the benefits of a digital version and the fact that paper version is not environmentally friendly. However, you also embrace the traditional meaning of the paper version.
Yes.
After sharing your thoughts on the matter of the format, it seems that the two of you have some common grounds. Both agree that the digital version can be more widespread and environmentally friendly, but the paper version can remain the traditional meaning. It is a remarkable progress that we have found some concurrence on these concerns. I'm happy we have made such progress. Shall we pause the discussion on the format for now and keep the details to be discussed in the separate and joint sessions?
Sure.
Okay.
So let's start to discuss on the theme. I'm impressed by the ideas proposed by both of you, and I believe you two proposed the two themes based on thorough consideration. I hear that Billy wants to use superheroes as the theme of the yearbook, while John prefers using emojis as the theme. Is that right?
You're right.
Yes.
This time round, can I invite John to give his views on the issue of the theme first?
Okay. I don't think superhero is better than emoji as the theme. It's nonsense to use superheroes to be the theme. I don't think superheroes is very suitable this year. Who do you think the readers are? Primary school students? Come on, people of our age groups are some secondary school students. And they must be interested in reading it, are you sure? The current students, of course, but also the alumni, professors, and the students, they are already in middle age, do you know? And you are forcing them to understand how Iron Man and Captain America fight. Are you sure?
It seems that you are concerned about whether the reader will appreciate the theme of superheroes or not. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes. Do you think it's an appropriate theme for the yearbook? In my opinion, the yearbook is one of the publications to represent the whole school. We are not here to write a magazine to entertain everyone.
As your mediator, I do not take sides on these matters, but I do hear that you care about the theme very much. You believe it's important to have a theme that everyone can enjoy, and that the theme of superheroes is not inviting to all readers. Would you elaborate more on how emoji themes yearbook would be more enjoyable for the readers?
Okay. The topic should be related to the readers, to the students, and even the society. In this case, isn't emoji the best theme? Every one of us use WhatsApp and SMS every day. So emojis are very close to our daily life. And there are more and more researchers that are investigating the influence of emoji on the way people live and communicate. This film is very, very attractive and interesting, and also very meaningful for readers who expect both insights and interesting content from us.
So John, you are considering the theme based on its linkage with the society and its attractiveness to various readers. As you see, emojis has become a part of our daily lives. So Billy, would you mind sharing more about why you do not think this theme would interest others?
Well, it's not a bad one, but not good enough. I know we use emoji very often. However, don't you guys think that this theme is already outdated? How long have we been using emoji? I've been using emoji as a composition topic since I was in secondary school. It seems to be way too boring.
Even though emoji is not a new thing today, it's always under advancement. And that's why I think this film is worthwhile to write it.
Well, the superhero stories have also changed a lot, and it can reflect changes in society. Superheroes are always relevant. Emoji is just a trend.
I hear that you have different opinions on the theme, but I also heard that both of you think that each of the theme is new and transforming with the society. Billy, it seems to me that the ultimate goal is for you is that you want to satisfy a wide range of audience reading the yearbook.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, I see. Would you care to share your thoughts on your proposed theme?
I chose this theme because I just want to attract new readers. Do you guys know mainly who take the free printed school magazines? Not the students, not the professors, but the grannies who sell waste paper for money. Fewer and fewer students read school publications, but I want to get it back.
So you proposed the theme of superhero because you wanted to target the students. Can you tell us why you think this theme is attractive to students?
In fact, fact, I don't mind if it's superhero now, as long as the theme can attract more students to support the yearbook. Superhero is only a proposed theme. I can change it anytime if anyone have any good suggestions.
It is good for both of you that the yearbook would gain more readers, and that I hear that you are flexible in deciding the theme.
Yes, of course.
Does anyone have anything to add before we move on?
Not for me.
Okay, shall we move on to the last matter, which is the cooperation between you two?
I have nothing to say about this.
I sense that you have a strong feeling towards this. Billy, can you tell me about your working experience with John to make you feel like so?
I've told you everything at the beginning. I did everything, but he didn't appreciate my effort. He treated me like I am inferior to him. We're both editors of this yearbook.
You feel unappreciated. Clearly, both of you care very much about the yearbook. It can be a basis for you to improve the relationship in the future.
Future? Never. I don't want to work with this guy anymore. He always looks down on me.
I don't. I'm the one to complain. I can't endure his irresponsibility anymore. I don't think I can also work with him in the future.
You always think you are better than everyone.
I sense that both of you are upset and that you have a lot to share.
Share? No, I've nothing left to share about him.
How about you, John? Can you tell me about your experiences of cooperating with Billy?
Sorry, I really don't like to talk about it.
I know it's a complicated matter and we will need more time to think about it. Shall we take a break of 15 minutes for now, and then after the break we can move on to the separate sessions. That will give an opportunity to share more of your thoughts comfortably without the presence of the other party. Do you have any preferences regarding who would like to go into the separate session first?
I think I need some time to think about it.
Okay, I can go first.
Okay, if both of you are okay with John starting and Billy being next, we'll do as you prefer.
Sure.
Good to see you again, John. Now we have gone through the first joint session together with Billy, and the three main matters we have discussed are the theme, the publication, and the barriers on cooperation. How do you find the mediation process so far?
It's been very discharging to be able to share my thoughts with Billy without us ending up fighting or walking away and leave. I feel like this is the first time he has actually tried to listen to my thoughts.
I'm glad to hear that your experience so far has been so positive. For this separate session, you can elaborate more on your concerns and what you see to be possible solutions. I remind you that what you share with me in this session is strictly confidential and will not be disclosed to anyone outside this room. If you wish to share with Billy anything we discuss in this session, you can do so yourself in the second joint session. Please tell me more about your concerns.
Okay, let's start with the theme. To be honest, superheroes can be the best choice, but also the worst choice ever, since they are too iconic and too difficult to handle them. I think I actually worry about the yearbook may turn out to be something like a superhero magazine instead. We should not let the yearbook to go to a wrong direction.
I see. Can you think of any ways to avoid turning the yearbook into a superhero magazine?
Yes, because there are some ways to do so. It's very risky to use superhero as the theme. The time required for checking and editing will be very long as well. I hope that we can find someone else to help to draw the superheroes, to help the drawings in the yearbook, because I also hope that he could commit to spend more time on arranging the theme. Billy, to arrange the theme, handle the icons and the figures, so that I can give some advice to him. Yes, you know that I still have some trainings of hockey team today.
I hear both of you like the superhero theme, and you are willing to agree on this theme if you can get the artist you know to do the drawings. Am I correct?
Yes.
I'm glad to hear you are willing to compromise with Billy on this theme.
Yes. Actually, I have Saturdays and Wednesdays off, so that I can later ask Billy if those time works for him.
That sounds good. Thank you, John. How about the format of the yearbook? Would you elaborate some thoughts on the matter?
I thought about this for many times. Printed and digital versions are very mutually exclusive. Nothing can be compromised here. They could not survive with both of them. So I won't change my opinion. I will insist on it.
Okay, I can sense that you have strong feelings towards the format, and you really want to keep it in paper version. Can you tell me more about your thoughts on this?
Well, apart from the printing issue, in the previous session, something pierced my heart really, because Billy seemed like he tried to listen, but he just didn't understand me very well. We have been friends for 6 years. Before the yearbook issue for 6 years, he blamed me for canceling the meeting, but the thing is, I went to help my hockey team members at that time. Because one of my teammates, he got admitted to the hospital in a training meeting. So I went to help him. I went to the hospital with him. This is the reason why I canceled the meeting. I didn't tell him much details since the one who got hurt would like to keep everything very secret and private. Then Billy kept on criticizing me on WhatsApp and didn't leave me a chance to explain my thoughts. Billy should be the one who knows my heart very well, but he doesn't know much it takes to play. He doesn't know much how much it takes to play on the hockey team.
From what I hear, you trust Billy very much. You tried your best to help your friends in the hockey team, and you hope Billy can understand.
Maybe. Billy came to watch my first hockey competition since I was still a recruit. I don't know what to do now. The conflict is so tiring.
Yes, conflicts can be very tiring, but they can be found everywhere, even in good relationships. Do you mind expressing your thoughts more clearly to him that would alleviate your stress from this conflict?
You're right. I should try to face our cooperation openly with him the next time. We have been good project partners before. Besides, I will tell him my decisions on the film, the publication as well. I can help with the film checking, but I want his initiative in doing it as well. I will insist on publishing the paper format of the yearbook.
I'm glad to hear that. Perhaps you can write down some of the things you would like to share with Billy in the next joint session. Thank you, John. See you soon for the next joint session.
Sure.
Billy, welcome and thank you for coming to the separate session. Before we begin, I would like to tell you again that all sessions, including this separate session, is completely confidential, and that I'm impartial with no regards of any standpoints. None of what you say to me in this separate session will be disclosed to others at any time. Do you have any questions?
No.
Great, so let's begin. Up to this stage, how do you find the mediation so far?
Honestly, I feel more relief when I first heard that John understood the reason and rationale behind making a digital version. Though he still has his persistence on making a printed version. And now I feel more flexible regarding the theme after hearing from him. Really, I'm fine with any topic as long as it helps to attract more students to support the yearbook.
I can see that you recognize the understanding of some standpoints discussed during the first joint session. There is a larger flexibility for you to deal with the publication and the issue. Let's focus on the publication issue first, as mentioned by John in the joint session. What he concerns the most about the publication is the delivery of the traditional meaning of a printed yearbook. Can you share your thoughts on this?
I could understand since I know there are still some of
our teaching staff and students who want to keep a printed yearbook because of the traditional and a sense of ownership, though they are the minority. But I really want to keep it in a more environmental friendly way because it would be a huge consumption of resources.
I appreciate that you have tried to think of John's concern. Right now, let's put aside who raised out such concerns. Are there any ways to deal with the concern for traditional media, but at the same time reinforce the importance of environmental friendliness?
For me, printed yearbook is not completely unacceptable. I also want to satisfy those who want to have a printed one, but it should never be the majority. After all, I want as many readers as possible.
Clearly, it is very important to you to satisfy all the readers. I also hear that you have some flexibilities on the format of the yearbook. But what makes it critical is the number of printed copies. Can you think of any ways to satisfy the need of the minority?
Maybe those who want to have a printed yearbook should register in advance, and we will print the amount of copies for those who have done the registration, and the others can get the digital version. That way we don't have to print excess copies and waste any resources. I think everyone will be satisfied.
That is very creative. Would you like to propose this idea to John in John's session?
Sure. I haven't thought about it this way before. I think maybe John can agree.
That would be a great progress. Now let's move on to the issue of cooperating with each other. In the first joint session, you seem to have strong feelings about John's performance. Can you further provide more elaborations on this?
Actually, it is not my first time working with him. We have known each other for many years and we used to be good friends. But last time we worked on a project together, he acted like he was the leader. When the project was nearly finished, he suddenly submitted the project to the tutor without any form of consent from me. He always thinks he's the best, his ideas are the best, and he makes rushed decisions like that without consulting with others. That's why I don't trust his decisions on the yearbook this time.
I hear you are frustrated, Billy, and that you lack trust in John's decisions. It seems like your previous experience working with John has had an impact on your cooperation with each other on the yearbook this time. Have you and John talked about this matter before?
No, because at that moment, it was nearly the end of the semester and I was busy preparing for my summer vacation. So we never really sorted out our prior differences before we became co-editors.
It seems to me that your previous experiences of working with John has had a big impact on your current cooperation, as well as your perceptions on his attitude. Perhaps it is important to you to know why John suddenly submitted the project that time.
Maybe. I'm afraid he will disappoint me again. But if we can work out our previous issue, maybe we will be able to put the past behind us and work better together now and in the future.
Perhaps in the next joint session, you can ask John to clarify this if you wish to.
Yes, I would want to do that.
Great. So maybe we can stop our separate session here, and I will invite John to come back in for the second joint session. I suggest you to write down on your paper some of the things you would like to tell John or ask John. For example, how to describe your thoughts and feelings about the previous project. This can help facilitate understanding and clarification.
Okay,
Thank you, Billy.
thank you.
Welcome back to the second joint session. I'm glad to see both of you here and willing to further discuss the matters. Hopefully we will reach some solutions that are satisfying for both of you. As John shared his thoughts first in our first joint session, is it okay if I invite Billy to talk first this time?
Okay.
Okay, Billy, would you like to share your thoughts?
Yes, first of all, I'm so tired of arguing. I really want to get this yearbook done and make everyone happy. After thinking about it, I can go with whatever theme. If you like emojis, we can go with that. I think the students will be happy with any theme. Really, as long as their pictures look good anyway, and the layout is well done.
Okay. I was gonna say the same thing as well. I think we can make the superhero thing works. On one condition though, we can invite Harry from the senior class to help the drawings.
Really? Okay, deal. Harry is talented. I'm sure he would like to do that.
I'm glad to hear you've reached a solution that works for both of you. I will write it on the whiteboard. What about the format of publication? Should we discuss this matter next?
When it comes to publication, I have to insist on the paper format. I think it's too big of a change to do the yearbook in the digital format this year. I don't want to be blamed by the upsetting and disappointed readers. I think we will lose the readers if we really do this. And this is the last thing I really want to insist.
Do you have any new thoughts on this issue, Billy?
I must say I still disagree, but I thought about it a lot. Of course, I don't want to upset them either, so I have a suggestion. How about those who want a printed version, they can register in advance, and so we print the amount of copies for those who want it. I think we can save a lot of paper and cost by doing this, and it will satisfy our potential readers and attract more.
That might be a good idea.
Is this a solution that may work for both of you? You will have digital yearbooks available for everyone, but the readers who would like to have a book in paper format will have the opportunity to register in advance.
I think that's great.
Okay.
I'm glad you were able to reach consensus on this matter. I think both of you did great work in this mediation process. It seems like there is still some work left with the yearbook. Do you have any thought on the cooperation for the next couple of weeks?
I have Saturdays and Wednesday off, so we can work on the yearbook on those days.
Do you have any days that may work for you, Billy?
Well, I've most of the afternoons off, so I'd rather not spend my weekends on it. But fine, Wednesday are good, and if there isn't anything in particular happening on the weekends, I can do on Saturdays. As long as you don't cancel on me last minute.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I will be there. I really want us to put the past thing away and start over.
Yeah, me too. I'm so tired of arguing, but I have been so upset because of you.
Yes, understand. I will probably be too. And I was upset when you didn't seem to understand me as well. I know you know me, and I wouldn't cancel it if it wasn't anything very important.
You're right. Okay, let's forget it and start over, okay? I promise I won't behave as your boss as long as both of us are working on the yearbook. I just want to get it done in time.
There.
I must say you have done a great job here. You've shown understanding towards each other and you both seem to be willing to work this out together. I think this yearbook would be a success. So did you agree on times to meet with each other to cooperate on the yearbook? Wednesday, am I correct?
Yes?
Yes.
And some Saturdays if you don't have any plans?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let me write it down first. Okay, so let's sum up what you have agreed upon so far. You agreed on doing the superhero theme for your yearbook with Harry doing the drawings. And the yearbook will be in both a paper format and a digital format, and only print out paper format to those who register in advance.
Yes.
You agree to meet on Wednesdays and when both of you have the day off. And you can meet on Saturdays as well, as long as none of you have any special plans.
Okay.
Okay, great. Is there anything else you have in mind or you would like to add?
No, I'm happy with these solutions.
Me too.
Okay, then I want to thank both of you for coming here and sharing your thoughts. If there is anything in the future that you would like to discuss or talk about, Please feel free to contact me at any time and we can schedule a new meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss.